Hello everyone and welcome back. Today you find me driving the brand new 2023 Infiniti QX60 that Infiniti Lebanon has given me for the next 2 days. I have my new glasses on, so yeah, let me know what you think of this new look. Honestly, talking about the new look of the QX60 because it has been completely redesigned for this generation. Honestly guys, I'm in love with that look. Kind of looks like a Range Rover Sport, the new model. What do you think? Very clean design, very minimalistic. You can see the slim LED daytime running lights, which look really nice. Take a look at this view. I'm currently in Rine, ICN. It used to be a broadcast station, but I mean nobody's here because the road here, I mean all filled with potholes, but I mean this car did an amazing job. We have all-wheel drive on this example. Let me show you quickly the trunk. You simply kick under there and that thing just opens up. We have decent amount of space and it's a 7-seater, which is really convenient obviously for a family car. Everything is electric, everything, you know, is automatic. You simply press a button and everything goes up back to its place. If we take a look at the back seat really quickly before jumping into the interior, because that thing is really impressive, take a look at that. We have shades over here. I mean, really nice stuff. 17 Bose performance speakers, and then you have small cubby spaces here and there with big door bins. Pressing one button, you're gonna see how this thing is gonna move forward for me to enter the back seat. I mean, let me just jump in really quickly since we're actually filming. All right, so I'm 186 centimeters, and it's gonna be a bit of an issue trying to fit here. Let me just close that thing up over here. Honestly, it's not that bad. We do have a button over here to get it back into place, but we do have charging port over here, which is really nice, and then 2 cup holders. Honestly, not really bad. I expected it to be worse, but I mean, it's actually very comfortable, especially if those seats are put in this position. I mean, I can very comfortably sit over here, and then pressing it once again, there we go, so it goes back into its place. Let me jump out really quickly and then fold it back here. We do have a 3-zone climate control. You can see over there the buttons and then your charging port. I honestly think that all cars need to have this power outlet over here. It's a shame that, you know, they actually don't, but I mean USB-C and then USB-A for charging. 2 cup holders in the center, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof, which is very convenient. Now this is where things get exciting over here. I honestly really like the new redesign on this Infiniti interior. Now a lot of you guys know from my past experiences with Infiniti is that the interior is usually kind of dated. It looks kind of dated most of the time with a pretty bad infotainment system, but I mean this new generation, they did an amazing job. Remember my Q50 review like quite 4 years ago? Yeah, I complained about that infotainment system and how old it was, but I mean I love this new interior. You can see the beautifully leather wrapped steering wheel, paddle shifters behind that. The buttons on the left control this center screen over here, scrolling between the various modes that you want displayed. Let me just scroll through that. There we go. So your computer, whatever, and then you can obviously go to settings. This is where you can change all sorts of stuff, including a heads-up display. I think you can see it, it's over there. And honestly, I have a complaint about the heads-up display is that it's moved slightly to the right and I cannot change it. I can only move it up and down or rotate it. I cannot move it to the side, which if I'm driving slightly like this, I cannot really see it, especially because the speed is over there on the right. Navigation menus are usually on the left in the heads-up display. But I mean, yeah, 12.3 inch screen in front of us and then a 12.3 inch screen over here. You can already see that I have this functioning. I mean, yeah, that's really nice. A rear view camera. Honestly, I don't really understand how these work. I don't usually use them because it's not very intuitive. I can't really tell the distance if the car is really close to me or not. Let me know if you guys use that. As I mentioned, 17 Bose speakers, and they're pretty high quality. You can see over there, this whole thing is a speaker over there, and then you do have a few settings. Let me just show you that. I'm pressing over here on menu and going on to settings, sound. You can see all sorts of settings, Bose audio pilot, center point, driver, audio stage. I mean, all sorts of stuff with surround volume. So yeah, very technical stuff. As I mentioned, we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They're wireless on this car and it works perfectly. It's the same infotainment system that I reviewed on the Nissan Patrol, the new generation. And it's honestly very intuitive, very fast. The UI is just amazing. A huge step up over before. So yeah, that is a big thumbs up for the infotainment system. And even the map, you can see it takes up the whole screen if you wanted to. Obviously, if you have anything else connected, it's going to be displayed on the right. But I mean, yeah, very snappy, very easy to use, very everything. Opening up the glove box over here, everything is nicely leather wrapped, honestly. But I mean, a huge glove box over there. Wireless phone charging, D mode. Honestly, weird naming, but I mean, yeah, your driving modes, you can go into personal, sport, auto, or eco. I haven't really tried sport yet. I'm usually driving an eco because you don't really need much performance from this car. We do have 350 Newton meters of torque, which is really convenient. You have all sorts of radars over here, and you can open up the tailgate from here. And then this is to control your heads-up display. You can turn it on or off from this button over here. Memory seats, obviously 1 and 2. What else do I want to show you? I'm going to show you the engine bay. Obviously, opening up this small storage area, we do have a USB port and a 12-volt power outlet. And it's honestly pretty deep. My phone, for reference, there we go, so you can see it. I mean, it's pretty deep, which is really convenient. I believe you can fit a small tablet. We have a pen holder over here and a notebook holder, or whatever this is, maybe a card holder, excuse me for that. Yeah, it makes more sense. And then you have a camera system over here. We have a 3D top view, which is very accurate. Honestly, I really appreciate this stuff. And the gear selector is honestly pretty easy to use, going into drive and then popping it into neutral like this, and then into reverse with park, pressing it on the button. So everything works perfectly. One thing I need to mention, excuse the sun over here, but I mean, we have a climate control system that's not related to the infotainment system, which I honestly really like. It's on its own, by itself over here. We do have a 3-zone climate control in this car, as I mentioned. Heated and ventilated seats. You simply press on here. It has haptic feedback, so you slightly press harder, so it's not touch. Again, I love that. You can see the dials are very high quality. ASMR. There we go. So yeah, very satisfying stuff. And then your hazards. Now, I don't know about you, but this location kind of reminds me of that one GTA 5 map, which is funny to note. Take a look at those daytime running lights. Over here, the strips, now we have the hazards on, but I mean, a huge kidney grille. Infiniti's famous kidney grille, which has been improved and modernized. You have an Infiniti emblem down at the bottom. Again, all looks nice and shiny chrome. And then obviously down at the bottom, you do have those air intakes, you know, for the cooling of everything, but really nice design. These are fake vents on its side, but I mean, it's fine. They do look good. I love those aggressive accents over here. Let me know what you think of the overall design. So under the hood, we have Infiniti's 3.5 liter V6 with 279 horsepower in Lebanon and 350 Newton meters of torque, as I mentioned earlier. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, which is a very smooth gearbox, honestly. I'm going to be doing some, you know, on-road test drives, tell you more my impressions of how this car drives, but I mean, it's a very smooth car. Gearbox is not clunky or jerky or anything. It drives very smoothly, and power delivery is pretty good. Downshifting down to second and flooring that thing, I mean, it's pretty good. Let me know what you think of this D-pillar design over here. I love that there is no chrome extension for that pillar. I mean, it kind of looks floating, very futuristic, very modern. I mean, the Japanese do make some really smart designs. I love these chrome accents all around the car. Infiniti emblem over here on the skirts, let's call them that. For now, you can see over here a small cubby space under the center console. Beautiful leather wrap seats. Take a look at how really nice they look. Very comfortable, honestly, and they're pretty supportive and they feel really nice. Take a look at that stitching. Very nice seats with massage functioning. Obviously all automatic controls, but I mean, you do have massage for the front seats. Again, very smart touch. Take a look at how this curves over there. Beautiful design, floating screen over there, and then this nice trim with wood over there. Obviously it's not real wood, but I mean, it does look really cool. What do you think of this whole cabin, guys? One thing I need to add about the trunk is that you have a button on top of the N for you to open it in case you don't want to use your foot. And then down below, you have more space. You can see that a plenty amount of space. These pull down the headrest basically, and if you press on here, the whole seat is gonna go down. And by the way, you can actually sit on here. It's pretty comfortable. You simply sit like this, and you have I mean, your back on the seats, and it's very comfortable with the nice view over here. Now for some driving impressions. The road I'm driving on isn't ideal, as you can see from the footage right now. Big, huge potholes. It's a private road, but I mean, yeah, you can see the suspension on this car is beautiful. It's honestly amazing how well the Japanese do this suspension. Infiniti vehicles tend to be so comfortable, and this is no exception. One thing you cannot control is the all-wheel drive system. You cannot do any gimmicks like the 4-wheel drive high or low, so it's an all-wheel drive vehicle and not 4-wheel drive. You only get the auto hold button, and that's basically it. But you do have 4 driving modes, as I mentioned. One is personal, and the other 3 are just, you know, the auto, eco, and sport modes. Now you might be wondering, why am I comparing the QX60 to a BMW X5, for example, or a Range Rover Sport? Well, because it competes against that with all the luxury that it offers at almost half the price. It starts at $65,000 in Lebanon for the Pure. Today I'm driving the Sensory, which is $80,000, but again, great starting price, to be honest, in my opinion. It's a very smooth car, 7-seater, as we mentioned, panoramic sunroof, all the nice little Japanese gimmicks that you'd like to see in these cars, and they've improved so much in terms of tech. As I mentioned, the screens, the Q50 was a nightmare in my opinion, but I mean this, it's so nice. This infotainment system is quick, it's fast, it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything is wireless. The climate control is not integrated into that screen, so you don't have to fiddle around to change your heated seats, for example, or change the fan speed. You simply press on here, very fast, very easy to use. So yeah, that is one point that I really appreciate in this car. What else do I want to mention? Power delivery, since we're driving the car. We have a 9-speed automatic. And it's honestly, you know, great, no shortage of power whatsoever. Not very torquey, so 350 Newton meters of torque, and the car is pretty big and it's heavy, so you don't have those jerks that the car offers, you know, usually at 350 Newton meters of torque. But I mean, it puts the power down. The brakes are sensational on this car. I'm gonna brake slightly harder right now. You're gonna see everything just dropped. I hope I have my camera here in the back. But I mean, brakes are pretty grabby, and even though it's a large SUV with very large mass, they're doing amazing. As I mentioned, the suspension system, oh my god, it's beautiful. It just floats over these road bumps. Saddle brown is a really nice option compared to the black, even though I would prefer this car with a brighter color. Paddle shifters are pretty quick and easy to use. Now 9 speeds, I'm not too sure about 9 speeds honestly, but because it's not a sports car, so you won't be actually shifting through those gears. It's for fuel economy, so driving on the highway, you definitely jump into 9th gear, and the fuel consumption will definitely drop down. I will not mention any cornering abilities or whatnot, because I feel like, you know, this car isn't made to corner well. Obviously there's a lot of body roll, there's a lot of weight to manage, and you can see it sways a lot, which is completely normal for a car of this size. Nothing to mention again. So yeah, so honestly, you know, I like the power delivery. For such a car, it's pretty quick, it's pretty nimble, so you don't have to worry about that. Some people would prefer having controls for the all-wheel drive system, maybe. Plush comfort even in the back seats. I had a ride in this car, the back seats are so nice, and you can fit easily 7 people. I mean, I'm 186 centimeters, and as we saw earlier, the back seats are the third row of seats are pretty convenient. Now this style of review is a bit different than the ones I'm doing, you know, recently with the cinematics, because I feel like I want to talk to you guys. I'm more active on Instagram, so I feel like if you subscribe to me on YouTube, you don't really see me talking to you. It's more, you know, nice views and just very formal reviews. So I decided, you know, with the QX60, let's just have a chat. And you have any questions about this car, I'm going to be driving it for the next 2 days, so let me know in the comment section. And final verdict will be on Instagram, because I would have posted you know, everything that I have in mind over there. So again, let me know if you want by DM or in the YouTube comments what you really think about this car, and if you want to buy it, what's something that you might want to know more about, and I'll definitely help you with that. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.